The Zephyrian High Command gathered around the massive holographic display, their crystalline faces reflecting the blue glow of their most sophisticated quantum computer, the Omnicalc. For 3 stellar cycles, this marvel of technology had predicted every outcome of the war with 99.97% accuracy. It had foreseen the fall of the Rigel colonies, the destruction of the Centauri defense grid, and the collapse of 17 human strongholds across the Outer Rim. Today it predicted the final battle. Analysis complete. The synthetic voice of Omnicalc resonated through the chamber. Human Resistance Fleet 847 vessels. Zephyrian Imperial Armada 2,341 vessels. Technological Superiority Index 847.3 in our favor. Predicted outcome total human annihilation. Probability of success 99.99%. Estimated time to victory 4.7 standard hours. High Commander Vexthala's 6 arms gestured in satisfaction. Finally, this pestilent species will be eliminated. Deploy the Armada. But Admiral Chen Wei, captured 3 days earlier, merely chuckled from his containment field. Something amuses you, human? Vexthala's voice carried the deadly harmony of breaking glass. Chen shrugged, his weathered face creasing into a grin. Your fancy calculator there. Pretty impressive, I'll give you that. But it's missing something crucial. Impossible. Omnicalc processes 847 trillion variables per microsecond. It accounts for ship specifications, crew efficiency ratings, ammunition supplies, fuel reserves, gravitational anomalies, stellar radiation. But does it account for stupidity? Chen interrupted. The Zephyrians exchanged confused harmonics. Their translator system struggled with the concept. Stupidity is inefficient, Vexthala replied. Rational beings eliminate such variables. See, that's your problem right there. Chen leaned back as much as his restraints allowed. You've built the perfect machine to predict the behavior of perfect machines. But humans, we're beautifully, magnificently imperfect. The battle commenced exactly as Omnicalc predicted. The human fleet, vastly outnumbered, arranged itself in a standard defensive formation around the mining station of Kepler 442b. The Zephyrian Armada approached in perfect geometric precision, their energy signatures painting mathematical poetry across space. But then Captain Sarah Rodriguez of the UES Defiance did something the computer hadn't predicted. She laughed. All ships, this is Rodriguez. You see those pretty formations they're flying? My grandmother could have predicted that attack pattern after 3 shots of whiskey. Her voice crackled across all frequencies. Time to show these crystal heads why humans conquered a galaxy without their fancy math. Instead of maintaining defensive positions, Rodriguez ordered her ship to accelerate directly toward the Zephyrian center line. Omnicalc immediately recalculated. Illogical maneuver detected. Human vessel Defiance engaging in kamikaze attack, adjusting defensive formations to. But Rodriguez wasn't aiming for the command ships. At the last second, she dove toward the asteroid field that Omnicalc had designated as tactically irrelevant. All fighters, follow my lead. Remember the Alamo. Rodriguez's ship disappeared into the rocky maze. The reference meant nothing to Omnicalc's databases. Within the asteroid field, the human advantage became clear. While Zephyrian ships maneuvered with calculated precision, human pilots twisted between rocks with reckless abandon, using gravitational slings that should have torn their ships apart. Lieutenant Murphy actually used his damaged fighter as a battering ram, laughing maniacally as he carved through Zephyrian hull plating. Commander Jackson of the Indomitable noticed something else. Their formations are too perfect, he muttered, then opened fleet channels. All ships target their geometric center points. They can't break formation without screwing up their computer's calculations. He was right. Every time the Zephyrians tried to adapt, Omnicalc needed 37 seconds to recalculate optimal formations. But Jackson's crews were already moving, exploiting gaps that existed for mere milliseconds. The coup de grace came from an unexpected source. Chief Petty Officer Williams, a maintenance specialist on the Perseverance, noticed that the Zephyrian energy weapons fired in perfect mathematical sequences. He jury-rigged a pattern disruptor that broadcast random radio noise, old Earth music, ship maintenance logs, even his grandmother's recipe for apple pie. The Zephyrian targeting systems, designed for precision, couldn't filter the chaotic interference. Back on the command ship, Vexthala watched in horror as the battle devolved into chaos. The Omnicalc's holographic display flickered between thousands of different predictions, unable to settle on a single outcome. Impossible, Vexithala whispered. They're violating basic tactical doctrine. Chen nodded approvingly as he watched the display. Now you're getting it. Humans don't follow doctrine when doctrine doesn't work. We improvise, we adapt, we do stupid things that work precisely because they're stupid. The Omnicalc's voice became strained. Unable to predict human behavioral patterns. Variables exceed computational parameters. Warning. Logic cascade failure imminent. Your computer's having a nervous breakdown, Chen observed cheerfully. Probably trying to figure out why Private Henderson just used his escape pod as a torpedo while singing off-key opera. This is impossible, Vexthala repeated. No, this is human. Chen's voice grew serious. You want to know what your supercomputer can't calculate? It can't calculate the value of fighting for something you love. It can't measure the power of doing something incredibly stupid. Because it just might work. And it definitely can't predict what happens when you corner a species that spent 1 million years clawing its way up from the bottom of the food chain. The Zephyrian fleet began to retreat as more ships succumbed to the human swarm tactics. The Omnicalc finally spoke in a voice filled with something almost like confusion. Prediction algorithms compromised. Human victory probability now exceeds computational capacity. System failure imminent. The massive computer began to smoke, its quantum processors overloading as they tried to calculate the incalculable nature of human unpredictability. Chen grinned as his restraints powered down in the chaos. That's the thing about us humans, Commander. We don't just think outside the box, we throw the box away and use the pieces as weapons. As the Zephyrian command ship systems failed around them, Chen picked up an emergency beacon. This is Admiral Chen Wei to all human forces. Mission accomplished. We've done the impossible again. He paused, then added with characteristic human audacity. Now let's go home and figure out how we're going to explain this one to command. The Omnicalc gave one final plaintive beep and shut down forever, defeated not by superior technology but by the beautiful, chaotic impossibility of human nature. In the end, the Zephyrians learned a valuable lesson. Never bring a supercomputer to a human fight. Because humans don't just break rules, they break the machines that make the rules.